if you're planning on building a race car for the track, where you're taking basically a car you maybe used for whatever you used it before, and now you're taking it to the track, there's some problems sometimes you might run into. And a lot of us end up running into these check engine light problems because maybe your exhaust is modified. Maybe it's modified in a way where the check engine light is starting to come on. Well, guess what? I got a fix for that, and that fix is this little buddy right here, the cell sync. But before we jump into that, I gotta make a few things clear. Cell sync is exclusively made for vehicles that are going on track. It's not for public roads at all. It has to be for vehicles going on track. Also too, according to their website, real quick summarize, it's also your responsibility to make sure that you're in compliance with all emissions laws, local, state, and federal. So in some states, using this on pollution-controlled vehicles that hit the street could violate the Clean Air Act. So if you're buying it, make sure that you know that you're accepting the risk and agreeing to use this the right way. Now, let's walk through how to set up this small little dongle in your vehicle. So the first step is you gotta find your OBD2 port, because that's where you're gonna plug in this cell sync dongle right here. Most cars, in fact all cars for the most part, your OBD2 port is going to be usually under here. For the C8 Z06, C8 Stingrays, E-Rays, all that stuff, your OBD2 is gonna be right here, this little thing right there, and you're gonna make sure that you connect this straight into there. Right before connecting it, make sure that your check engine light is actually showing. Make sure you haven't cleared it with any other scanners or things like that, or this won't work properly. Make sure the check engine lights are actually there. We're gonna plug this thing in. Boom, now it's plugged in, looks good. I can see a little bit blinking, so I know it's working. All right, and the next step is we are going to start the car. So once we start the car, within about 60 seconds, or once you start driving, the cell sync is going to boot up and you'll see that yellow LED blinking on it. And once you see that blinking, that's gonna let you know that it's starting to basically talk with the ECU. It's gonna begin doing its thing. So let's fire up this engine. All right, so now that we've got it fired up, gonna give it a little bit of time so that the ECU and the cell sync can begin talking to each other. Eventually it's gonna clear the exhaust codes, and then I should be good to go from there. So you can see I got my check engine light on right now, but eventually it's going to clear. Around the course a little bit, just a big autocross course on a big skid pad. Let's see if we can get these codes to clear with the cell sync. Let's see if they'll disappear. Yeah, let's turn off traction control. Traction control, let's go over here to race 2. Traction control completely off. Hopefully, we'll see. I've never been on a skid pad with this car, so let's see if this thing will slide a little bit. Since there won't be a million grip anyways. Get these windows down, put all this trash down there. Keep this here. Good to go. Tire's actually not too warm. That's not too bad. Started at a 29 PSI. Funny enough, the car feels all right. It actually feels all right with the traction control fully off. Like, it doesn't fully break loose the way I thought it would. There's a little bit of understeer, so I'm having to manage through the corners just a little bit. Obviously, understeer is a very flat surface, not a ton of grip, so they probably experience a lot of understeer, but it's not too bad. We'll do a little lost control.
How was that, speed racing?
It was cool, you know, just ripping around a little bit, having a little bit of fun. It was cool though. How it sounds.
It sounded good.
That's a hat.
Especially that launch.
Oh really?
Yeah. I'm telling you, it hits that wall.
Just highway driving, no matter what the heat, it could be 115 degrees. Highway driving, 170 something.
Yeah, that's crazy. But dude, the skid pad is like the worst thing on a car in the world.
Yeah, because there's not enough air.
No air flow,
Yeah, so
all
it gets hot
throttle.
quick. Yeah.
These poor drift cars.
Yeah. Second gear, third, you know, first gear. At the track, just ran a few laps with the C8 Z06, and I had the cell sync plugged in, and noticed the check engine lights did not go out. So I'm like wondering, what the heck? Why isn't this working the way it's supposed to work? Well, it is working the way it's supposed to work. what's happening is I'm getting these exhaust valve codes. So the valves that operate your exhaust to make them louder, quieter, whatever, those are on. And I think that's what's causing this to not clear those completely. And when those aren't cleared, you'll still see the check engine lights. All right, now fast forward a little while. So like I was saying at the track, the reason why I believe that I wasn't able to get the check engine light to go off was not because the cell sync wasn't working. The cell sync was working, but it only works to eliminate the check engine light on the dash there if it's something in regards to, you know, your cats or whatever it is, right? But if you have another issue like something else random going on with the car, it's not going to eliminate that. So the other issue I had going on was I needed to do a relearn on my Z06 for the valves. So originally when I got the AWE exhaust on it, for whatever reason there was something going on with the, I don't know how the computer was reading the valve. I don't know the magic behind it. All I know is I needed to go to a dealership and do a relearn. I contacted AWE. They were kind enough to examine what was going on. They said, hey, yeah, just go to a dealership, tell them to do this and that, and they can do some relearn on it and it'll fix the valve code issue that you have going on, because basically I was just getting a code for my exhaust valves. The exhaust valves worked perfectly fine, they just were giving a code. Don't know why, but they were. So anyways, went to the dealership, got that reflash, got that done, that cleared that. So basically the only codes left were the ones for you know, obviously doing, you know, the Phoenix designs, downpipes, all that stuff. So anyways, now the cell sync works properly. So you put it in, it does its job, and now you don't have any check engine light on the dash, especially when you want to take your car to the track, because the issue is if you go to a track and you always have the check engine light on, well then you don't know if something else happens to the car. You could potentially risk having a major issue if you don't check it. So anyways, now I know when I go to a track that I'm going with no light on, and if something does happen that pops on a light, I know that, hey, I need to look into it versus just ignoring it always. So that's the great thing about having the cell sync, is it helps you when you go to tracks and places like that, so that you can always be able to monitor your car and you're not ignoring things for no random reason. So it works now, it's all good, and I'll show it to you. All right, I'm in here right now. I'm gonna fire up the car so that you can see that it does not have a check engine light anymore. And by the way, there is the cell sync right there, beeping and working good. You know, when that green light is doing this thing is actually working. So anyways, let's fire this thing up real quick and let's show the world that there's no check engine light. No check engine light, there you go. That's absolutely incredible, absolutely awesome. There is no check engine light anymore. It works. The cell sync actually works. So there you go, friends. It works, it does its job, and now you can get it too as well. Just head down to the link in the bio. You'll see it in there. Get one for yourself if you're experiencing the same things I've experienced, and it'll be able to help you be able to monitor your car even better. So hit the link in the bio, you'll be able to see it there. Thank you so much for tuning in on this video. Just another cool gadget to help you with your CA Corvette, and I believe it works for other cars too as well. But anyways, thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll see you on the next video.